triangular wave. No? So if I'm going to ano this one, no, which is better, the sinusoidal, square wave, or triangular, no? So if for me, no, it is better, no, the waveform for the sinusoidal waveform, no. So this is the only alternating waveform whose shape is unaffected by the response of the characteristics with different elements, no, from the resistor, inductor, in the same time the capacitor. No, so this is the perfect, waveform comparing to the square wave and the triangular wave. Now, the term alternating indicates only that the waveform alternates between two prescribed level in a set of time sequence. Now we have the what we call the positive sequence here. No, this is the origin, the zero, going there. No, this is the positive sequence. The other one is the negative sequence. Then also the instantaneous value. So we have the magnitude of waveform at any instant of time denoted as lowercase letter like P1 and P2. Okay, and also for the peak amplitude, this is the maximum value of the waveform, no? Regarding this one, normally dari nato na siya makita. The peak value of voltage, no? And so on. So this denoted as uppercase letter as VM, no? And for the period, usa ka cycle, the positive cycle and the negative cycle, usa ni sila ka period, no? This is with respect to T. And one cycle or cycle is the portion of waveform like this one, no? This is the positive cycle. Okay, another one, no? This is negative cycle. And also for the frequency, this is the number of cycles that occurs in 1 second. So normally we can have the frequency by using this equation. No? We have 1 over period or 1 over t. Okay. And for the sinusoids or sinusoidal wave can be derived, from the length vertical projection, as you can see this, as also, no, the vertical projection of a radius vector rotating in a uniform circular motion about a fixed point. So if you have seen this, now later on, nato na siya yung expound to this. No? So basically, we have this um, Vm sine A and the same time Vm cosine A. So as you can see, this one, the adjacent side, which is the Vm cosine. So normally, no, it's so katowa ra gid tanan, no, mabalik na to nga to ang trigonometry before. Now, do not worry with regards to this vector, no? Ato na siyang ma-discussan pa later on. And also, no, the velocity with which the radius vector rotates about the center, called the angular velocity, no? So it can be determined as through this formula or equation, no? The distance over time, or normally using the sinusoidal, angular velocity can have this, no? Uh, uh, alpha over t, no, or the period. Now, since omega is a typical provided in radians per second, the angle alpha obtained alpha is equals to omega t, since usually in radians. So the time required to complete one revolution or usa ka period of the sinusoidal waveform, the radian subtended in the time interval of 2 pi. So normally, at the end, through this sinusoidal, no, we can have our angular velocity with regards to this, no, 2 pi f. No, it's a combination of the period at the same time the time interval. So this is this is the equation for the angular velocity. It's ang read 2 pi f, or unit ani is radian per second. Okay, so the basic mathematical format for a sinusoidal waveform is Vm sine alpha. So Vm is the peak value of the waveform, and alpha is the unit measure of the horizontal axis. Now, let's see this one. The difference of the a different function, with the using of angular velocity as well as function of the period, with respect to its time. So as you can see, we have two kinds of two different waveforms here. That's sketched for the Vm sine omega t. Okay. So normally this one with respect to its radian mode, no, as the angular velocity, no. And also with respect to a period, mo po niya ang sinusoid niya nor yung form. So normally, yung difference na ginilan is either the sine or cosine function. No? So where Vm is the amplitude of the sinusoid, where omega is the angular frequency, the unit is radian per second. For the frequency, within terms to hertz, no, or Hz, this omega is equals to 2 pi f, and frequency is 1 over t, which is t, that is a period in seconds. Okay? And also for the periodic function, as the phase of sinusoids, as you can see this one. So the distance or the difference between this sinusoid and the other sinusoid, no? That is the difference is phase angle nila. No? So as you can see, we have the Vm angle, the same time Vm or V2 angle, the same time the V1. So you can see, so see the difference between the two. Magdepende sa iya, no, ang iyang phase difference between the two, the V1 and the V2. As you can see, only two sinusoidal values with same frequency can be compared by their amplitude and phase difference. And also, if the phase difference is zero, normally lugar kung zero ang phase difference, sabay ang V1 o V2. O, naka-in phase na sila. Okay, kanilang, no? They are out of phase, so meaning there is a difference between the two or phase difference between the two. No? So, meaning they are out of phase. No? Kawa sila silang phase. So, normally, this is the equation of these two waves or two waveforms. We have Vm sine omega t plus this phase difference between the two. Okay? Now, in phase of sinusoids also, we have these terms, no? The lead and the lag. No? So, meaning, muna siya ang pasabot, no? This is the meaning that the two side waveforms are out of phase. No? Naiga lead, naiga lag. Okay, when you say lead, it's a cosine curve said that the sine curve lead by 90 degrees. When you say lag, the sine curve is said to lag the cosine curve by 90 degrees. As you can see, no, there's a difference between the two, the lead and the lag. But again, kung tanawin mo na sa, they are the same frequency. You cannot see the phase difference between the two. Kung lalaki is lag frequency, dapat parehas sa lag frequency. Okay? 90 is the referred to as the phase angle between the two waveforms. So when determining the phase measurement, we first note that each sinusoidal function has same frequency permitting the use either verb form to determine the period. So later on, natuwa na siyang tanaw, no? So normally, by getting the phase difference between the two, okay, you can have this equation, phase shift over the period times 360 degrees, 60 degrees, equivalent to one cycle or one period. No? So in this illustration, no, as you can see, na kailan naman ta kay lead, kailan naman ta kay lag. No? We can denote this one as this one. No? We have this kaning waveform, this is V2. Kaning waveform, this is V1. No? Tanaw na to na siya to illustrate this properly, no? This waveform. We can say, no, that V2 leads V1 by phase by phase theta. No? So you can see this one, no? Or you can say that V1 lags V2 by phase theta. No? So pwede na to inganaon pag denote ang ato ang pag-expound, no, kung natin makita ang mga waveform like this. No? So make it sure, no, tanaw na to ganina, make it sure, no, that they have the same frequency. Dili pwede, no, nga imo na siyang i-compare nga ang iyang frequency lahi-lahi, no, muhabog ang isa, although lahi-lahi phase, they are out of phase, pero ang isa ka frequency lahi kayo, no. So dapat they are the same frequency, no? So dili pwede nga lahi is like frequency, so you cannot compare the two. Okay? Or else, no, that V1 and V2 are out of phase. So normally this is the way how it illustrate this kind of a waveform. No? So, two sinusoid wave whose phase are to be compared. One, it must be written as sine wave or both as cosine wave. No? So, dili ka pwede ha, no? Mag-compare og duha ka waveform kung ang isa is naka-sine wave, ang isa naka-cosine wave. Dapat parehas. So, dapat kung sine wave ang isa, sine wave po ng isa. So, pwede nimo na sila compare. Okay? Ang isa po, kung naka-cosine wave, cosine wave po ng isa. Okay? And isa, ikadua, you can compare if both be written with positive amplitude. Sir, say pasabot sir, no? Dili pwede ng isa naka-negative sign. Okay? So, when you're going to compare it, dapat positive sign ang duha. Okay? Sin theta, ang isa po di sin theta, no? Di pwede isa negative sign. Sir, saan mo na to na pagbuhat, sir, kung saan na to pag-compare kung negative sign na daan, no? Na-conversion po daan na. Liter O, na-conversion from negative sign to positive sign, from negative cosine to positive cosine. So, na-conversion na later on. And also, lastly, no, as I said earlier, you cannot compare the two waveforms if they don't have the same frequency. No? Dapat parehas yun yung ilahang frequency. No? So, take note of these three. No? So, you can compare only the two waveforms with these three categories. No? Dapat na aning tulo na mo satisfy ni sila. Now, as I said earlier, as I said earlier kanina, no? That kung saan na ito pag-convert, no? From negative sign to cosine, from negative sign to positive sign, and so on. So, na siya conversion. Now, so if you want to memorize this one, you can do. You can do that, bro. Okay? If you want to memorize this one, no, you can do this actually if you want. But I suggest, no? I suggest, inyong buhaton is just like this one, no? Ingani lang nga style. Taymanan na nimo asa ang positive sign, asa ang negative cosine, no? So example like this, um, from if you have negative sign lugar, no? I have negative, you have, take note now, kanina may bantayan nimo, you have sine omega t, you have cosine omega t, ha? So it is expected kung positive sign din, cosine din, this is negative cosine, no? Omega t. Because both is negative sign omega t. Okay? Now, assuming if you have a given lugar ng negative sign omega t, no? Tapos ang isa is naka-negative, naka-positive sign omega t. No, saan na to ni convert, no? Kung saan na to ni convert, nga maparehas ni siya ani, no? Mahimo siyang positive, no? So basically by using this from negative sign, no? From negative sign i-convert nato siya to positive sign. Okay, sinitabuan na. Pilay na add niya. Okay, assuming this is 90 degrees, another is 90 degrees. No? So basically if yung tanaw na to na siya, no? Naka-akbay siya duha ka cycle, no? So basically na mag-add tog 180 para ma-convert siya into sign, no? Positive sign. No? So if you have negative sign, pwede ka, no? That you can have this. I have cosine omega t plus 180. Hindi ka magana, no? Para maimo siya positive sine omega t. Ay, sorry. Si sine, sorry. Sine omega t. No? May mo siyang positive. No? So, na may giingon niya kaganina, you cannot compare the two if lahi ang ilahang operation. So, kung negative ang isa, tapos ang isa positive, para ma-compare ni mo ng duha, dapat positive sign ang mo i-reference. So, imo siya i-convert from negative sign to positive sign. So, normally, you can have this actually. You can memorize this if you want to. Pero I suggest kanina rin yung memorization. Na naman sa inyo trigonometry before. Sa section C, na banin sa inyo naka-discuss na may trigonometry sa non-STEM.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think di naman sirata, no? This is just a review or a recap. Okay, and also this one, no? For the may Sokatoa, no? Let's see, no? Normally, if you want to convert to have the angle, okay, you can have this may Sokatoa, opposite over adjacent, and so on. No? So, more on, this is more on trigonometric identities. Okay, now, example like this one, no? If we have an example, ing ani, saan na to ni siya, og sulbad, no? That find the amplitude, okay, or phase, period, and frequency of sinusoid B of t is equal to 12 cosine 50t plus 10 degrees. Now, if we have this kind of example, how do we solve this? Do you have any idea?
No, sir.
Huh? Yes? Someone wants to volunteer? Okay, find the amplitude, the phase, the period, and frequency of the sinusoid if you have this v of t is equals to 12 cosine, no? So normally, ang amplitude, sa ganun si amplitude, okay? Diba? Kung baliko na to, no? Okay? So normally, amplitude is, can be seen like this, no? This is the amplitude. So the peak one, or the BM, no? So this is in a waveform, no? But how about like this one? Like this one is an example. So as you can see, this one, no, as peak niya, no, this is our amplitude. Okay? Okay, so normally this is within terms of voltage man, no? So we have Vm. So this is our peak for the voltage. Okay? So it's denoted as Vm. Kuya, saan ni? Vm na to will be equals to 12 volts. No? That's one. We are done for the amplitude. How about for the phase? Pila tong phase, ani? Pila tong phase? That's angle, no? Pila tong angle, ani?
50t plus 10.
50%, sir.
Okay? Now, the phase na to is 10 degrees lang. No? Angle raman. No? This is the angular frequency. Okay? Or that's angular frequency. No? So, normally, for the phase, it's 10, meaning ana degrees na siya or angle. No? So, that is 10 degrees. No? That's for the phase. Now, for the period, okay?
Ang 50T,
Okay?
sir.
Ah, for the period, that is, okay, di ba? Naman yung formula kaganina for the period. It might be period is equivalent to, di ba? We have frequency. It might be pwede ani, no? Frequency is equals to 1 over t. Nabay given ang atuang frequency. Wala, no? So, walay given yung 1. But another, na po tayo formula kay period kaganina. No? So, we have angular frequency. Okay, balik ko na to. Saan siya paano period? Formula. Okay. So it might be like this, ano? Since period is 1 over t, okay? No? So normally we can distribute since given man kagadi na si angular frequency, no? Lagi ang wala ali is we can have the period through this formula, no? We have omega is equals to 2 pi f. Since naman tayo given aning of f, no? So we can distribute this f aning equation. So you have omega is equals to 2 pi 1 over t, no? So pwede po siya in other words, period will be equals to what? No? Transpose ito sa PCAS and T. Okay, so normally period will be equals to 2 pi omega. No? So that is the equation of how getting the period. No? So we can have this key formula, no? Since kanina omega is equals to 2 pi f. Okay, so you know naman how it's done. So you have 2 pi over omega. By the way, omega is what? No? Omega is angular frequency. No, we have this angular frequency of 50. No? This one. This is our angular frequency. So since namatay given angular frequency is 50 radian per second. Okay. So distribute atong omega with this equation. No? So we have 2 pi divided by 50 radian per second. Okay. Bilang ng 2 pi over 50 radian per second. Can you use your calculator? 2 pi divide 50. Pila siya?
0.12566, sir.
Okay, 0.12, no? So, pwede ka, ano, no? So, 2 pi divide 50, we have 0.12. Okay, 0.12. Okay, it's a unit sa period. Seconds. No? So, that is our period, 0.12 seconds. Okay? Sa pag-ipangita, frequency. You know? So, since na naman tayo formula ni frequency, no, we have the period already. So, we can have our frequency of this one, no? Frequency will be equals to 1 over t or 1 over period. 1 over 0.12 pila nga ito ang frequency. Pila ang 1 over 0.12 kanina? 0.125 or 0.12? Pila itong frequency? By the way, if you want a recording, di ko ka-record actually ha. No? So, kamo na lang ang mag-record sa inyo na lang consumption. Kay puno ang ako ang Gmail. That's why I cannot do recording kada online na to. Kung gusto mo na may recording, you can do it sa inyo na lang PC baka or inyong laptop. Pila tong frequency? 1 over 0.12. Pila ni siya?
Ang sir, 7.96.
Ah?
7.96.
7.96. Okay, that's 7.96 sa unit. Okay?
Sir,
Unit ani for the frequency is hertz, ha? No? Okay? So 7.96 hertz, no? That's our frequency. No? I think morang ipangita, no? So the amplitude nato is 12 volts. The phase angle is 10 degrees, no? Since naman tani. Okay? Also for the period, no? Pagkita na rin is period. So normally period, we have this formula, 2 pi f. Since frequency is not yet given, and also we can have the we can have the period through this equation, no, from the angular frequency. Since angular frequency is available, no, this is angular frequency that 50. Okay, so therefore our period is 0.12 seconds. And lastly, the frequency, no, so we have this formula 1 over period. So that's 1 over 0.12, that's 7.96 hertz. No, so again, no, ato ila-ilahon ang kaning mga elements na ni, so that if we're going to move forward, ato na ni silang sabtan. Mo ni siya, and so on and so forth. So, klaro ba? Klaro na to, ato na nila si amplitude, si phase, si period, and frequency. Nakaila na mo nila.
Yes, sir. Gamay.
Gamay. Okay. At least na gamay, no? Now, this will be your assignment, no? Number one assignment ninyo. Let's try this one to solve the phase angle. This number 3, no? Calculate the phase angle between V1 and V2 state which sinusoid is leading. Okay, tanaw na to na siya, may bawon na ba nato inside leading nila? Okay. By the way, no? You cannot compare the two. You cannot see kung kani siya leading ni siya, no? Kung laylahi ang ilahang, okay? Trigonometric function. No? So dapat kung nag-cosine ka, cosine ni tanan, no? Dapat nag-sine ka, nag-sine tanan. Okay? So kung tanaw na to si B1 o B2, you cannot compare the two. Okay, cosine si B1 and also si B2 is sine, no? And also na-update siya ang iyang operation, no? Negative si B1, si B2 positive, no? So you cannot compare also that one. So dapat kung positive ka, positive puntanan. So now, duha ka buok ang atong pwede ilisan ani, no? Asa ba inyong masimple ilisan? I-convert na to. Si B1 or si B2 or unsa man yung gusto conversion. No? So normally ato na lang anaron atong kaugalingon, no? Because later on, mabot ng gutan na ito, may ilan na to later on si phasor. No? So, before you convert from time domain to phasor, okay, so normally the standard form of time domain is within terms to a cosine function. So, ato na lang anaron itong kaugalingon, ato i-convert into positive cosine function tanan. Okay? So, again, negative cosine ni siya, no? Negative cosine ang CB1, no? Through this. So, ato na siya i-convert into positive cosine. And also, si sine man ni siya, ato ni siya i-convert into positive cosine. Ato na lang anaron atong self daan. Okay? So, basically, how to convert this, no? It's from kanina, pag-ingon nila, trigonometric function. So, make sure you know the location ni positive cosine. Okay, omega t. The positive sine. Okay, hindi ako salat. Sibo gamay. Positive sine omega t o the positive cosine omega t. Now, atong goal is i-convert na to from negative to cosine. Okay? Negative cosine to positive cosine and also si sine to cosine. No? So, basically, how to do this actually. No? So, with regards to this, there is negative cosine. Okay? Ato siya i-convert into positive cosine. Okay? So, naitabuan na. Okay? Na siya 180 degrees. Okay? So, basically, from this, no? So we have to convert V1. Okay, V1 will be equals to negative 10 cosine omega t plus 50. Ano, ato na siya i-convert into positive cosine. Okay, which is normally by using the trigonometric identities, no, the shape formula put ka ganina, no? So normally to convert that one, we can have this 10 cosine omega t plus, okay, sorry, plus 50 degrees, okay, minus, no, add siya ng 180 degrees. Okay, so basically V1 karon will be equals to 10 cosine omega t, okay, omega t minus 230 degrees. Sorry, that's wrong. This one, no? This is isa na siya. This is positive, sorry. Ayan naman na, no? Clockwise man ta, no? So that is positive 180. No? So basically that one, no? Plus 180. So you have 230 by the way. So 50 plus 180, that's 130. Okay, that is our V1. Okay ha? Kasi kanus adi ko mag-plus, kanus ako mag-minus. Dapat naka-clockwise. Kung clockwise ka, mag-add ka ng positive. Kung naka-counterclockwise ka, like this one, balik ka gingani. Okay? That's negative. Okay, minus 180 ka. Okay? Minus 180. Okay, so basically, atong rotation is pa-clockwise man. No? That's why we have plus 180. So we're done converting the V1. Okay? Another, i-convert na to si V2. Okay, si V2 is from positive sign, okay, to positive cosine. Okay? So basically, diri man si sine sa ubos, no? Magsaka ta dira, no? So meaning, clockwise man na yung rotation, minus 90 kadiya. No? Sabta ninyo? Ay, wala pa. Counterclockwise mga that's why, negative 90 kadiya. Klaro? So therefore, to rewrite this, P2 na to, P2, pati na kay Gagi card, P2 will be equals to 12 sine omega t minus 10 degrees. Okay, since ang iyahang rotation, no, i-convert mo na to siya from positive sine to positive cosine. So, yung rotation is pa-counterclockwise. No? So, mag-add na ng 90 degrees or negative 90. Okay? So, you can have this, no? For the V2 lang. V2 will be equals to 12 cosine, okay? 12 cosine omega t minus 10 minus 90. Okay? Gets nyo? Gets nyo how it convert from from sine to cosine? Gets nyo? Naka-follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay? Now, sir, nganong cosine man atong gipili, sir? Ato na lang anaron atong kaugalingon because the standard time domain, no, later on man god gamit kayo ni si time domain, the same time ato i-convert din siya into phasor domain, no. So si time domain, ang iyaging standard trigonometric identity is positive cosine. So ato na lang anaron atong kaugalingon into positive cosine tanan. Okay, no. So therefore our V2, okay, V2 will be equals to 12 cosine omega t minus 100 degrees. Okay, that's our V2. no? So pwede na nato ni i-compare ang duwa. No, kinsay leading sa ila, okay, from B1 at the same time B2. Tanaw na to siya, sa to pagkibalo nga leading siya. No? So when say leading, it can be described, no, that the phase difference from B1 and B2 is kinsay dako, no, sa ila. So tanaw mo na to, no, si B1 muy dako, di ba? Okay, muy dako og degrees compare kay B2, di ba? So tanaw na to, pila difference sila. Og 230 at the same time negative 100. Okay, no? So, pila ang difference lang duha? Kung tanaw na to, from 10 cosine omega t, okay, 230 degrees, at the same time kay V2, 12 cosine omega t, negative 100 degrees. Now, in that case, how do we rewrite this one? No? O, tanaw na to siya, no? Negative 100, 230, sila yung phase difference lang duha. Anybody?
Difference, sir ba?
Yes? And again, start. Ang question man there is calculate the phase angle between angle phase between B1 and B2. How do we compute kaya that one? Anybody who wants to try? Ilay phase difference angle or phase angle between B1 and B2. If that's the case, nanatay B1 within terms of cosine function, nanatay B2 within terms within terms also for the positive cosine function. By the way, as you can see this one, I-erase this one. Okay, kung tanawin ninyo siya, kanin lang tayo, mura o gamay, yung yan puro misulati. Diba naman di V1, kaya ito tadari. V1, we have 10 cosine omega t plus 230 degrees. We have V2 also, we have 12 cosine omega t minus 100 degrees. Okay? To compare this one in terms to leading, no? Tanong na to sa leading na ipasabot. Okay? Okay, lead, no? The cosine curve is said to lead the sine curve by 90 degrees. while the sine curve is said to lag the cosine curve by 90 degrees. So 90 is referred to as a phase angle between the two waveforms. No? So basically, if that's the case, no? So to see the phase angle difference between B1 and B2, di ba, we can say no? By trigonometry, this one, B1, di ba, the same naman po din siya, 10 cosine omega t, okay, minus 130 degrees. No? Basically, yung tanaw na to na siya, by trigonometric identity, they are the same. Okay, negative 130 lang siya, or positive 230, they are more likely the same. Now, to see the difference, so tanaw to siya, negative na siya. So, therefore, B1, no, leads B2, no, by 30 degrees angle. No, tanaw na to na siya. No? So, pwede po siya actually, convert po nato ni siya, no, or negative 100, no? So, basically, this one, si B2 po, kung tanaw na siya, pwede po ni siya actually 12 cosine omega t, ay omega t plus 260 degrees. Tanawon po nato na siya, no? So on. No? So, phase difference sila do kaning positive kani o kani, no? 30 degrees po lang difference. So therefore, it is clearly says, no? Sayo din. Uh, therefore, it clearly says that V2 leads, sorry, sayo dito ganina, leads V1 by 30 degrees. No, para uniform ta, ani na lang, no? Look at the positive side. No, to ipang positive ang iyang angle. No, convert na to kung see the difference between the two. Okay, so muna siyang final answer, no? V2 leads the V1 by 30 degrees. Okay. Para uniform ta, wala na lang nato ni ana na lang na siya. 10 cosine to only 30. At the same time, in other words, 12 cosine o negative 100, equivalent na sila or vice versa, parehas na sila. Ha? Negative 100 or by positive 260, they are more likely the same to see the phase difference between the two. Okay? So, ana lang siya, no? By getting the phase angle difference between the two waveforms. Okay, so this will be your assignment also. Huh? This one, assignment number 2, number 4. Okay, 1, 2, and 4 will be your assignment number. Saan naman yung assignment na to? Number 3 assignment na nato nino for the final term. Okay. Pangutana. Nay pangutana? Nanay suspension sa online naman ta ha. Nanay suspension si Clarix oy. Online naman ta. Dito may apektuhan na ni. Now, question clarification. Klaro ra? Assignment ninyo, klaro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pangutana.
2 parts.
May nag-chat?
Excuse me, sir. I have a
Yes.
question po, sir. Regarding po sa PIT, sir, may I ask po, sir, if ang katong 1.5 meter po, sir, kay sa tanan na to bulb po, sir, kanang distance lang sa each nga bulb po, sir.
Distant, by the way, sakto, no? Na-open na to. Ani na siya, lovely, no? Or information to everybody. Nato din na discussan man god. Basically, no, inyong goal is, di ba, magbuhat man mo your goal is to get magbuhat man mog hardware, no? This is your hardware. Uh, assuming mo na yung hardware, na rin mo output na rin side, no? With pansakanan na siya para sa inyo ang string lights, no? Okay, 5 ka string lights. Ano ni? Patuloy na lang nato ni. Now, katong giingon ni Lovely, ang distance na 1.5. No? Basically, kanang 1.5 is mo na siyang distance, no? From bulb to bulb. That's 1.5. Okay? So, kanina is mo ni nga tong tansakanan. No? Now, kana distance na nila tanan, 1.5 na. No? Parehas na sila tanan, 1.5 na sa laros. So, 1.5 times bilang 1, 2, 3, 4. Upat ka 1.5, that's 6 meters. Correct ba? No? 6 meters na siya. Plus, mag-add lang din ta ng 1 meter. Sir, asa ng 1 meter, sir? No? Kana sa inyo ang pansakanan. Okay? Ikan sa bulb, ana, padulong sa pansakanan, that's 1 meter. Manang 7 meters tanan. Ang inyong buhaton. No? For the string lights. By the way, string lights inyong buhaton ha. This will serve as your series lights ninyo, no? So string lights ninyo na siya, no? So that's total na it's 7 meters. So na din kay male plug. So basically, kani siya it's weatherproof ni siya, no? That's a weatherproof na receptacle. Okay? So bulb line ni siya, no? Kani siya na din siya bulb line na 3 watts LED type. Kamu na bahala kung warm white ba or daylight ba, no? So, I suggest po warm white lang po gamito ninyo, no? Normally, string lights man is warm white. Okay. So, warm white ang colors inyong suga. No, inyo din ang i-connect dahil na siya, no? Ipansak ba ninyo na sa inyong hardware, sa inyong buhaton, no? May hardware yung buhaton sa inyo, ano? So, pwede nga ni, it's up to you, unsaon ninyo siya, no? Pwede siya, dili na ipansak, nakapansak na daan, maragin siya series lights ba, no? Na siya ba? I-connect na daan sa sulod, no? Gisulda na. Pero I suggest, depende sa inyo ha, depende na gina sa inyo kung inyo ba siyang ipansak-pansak pa, or inyo ara siyang i-connect na diretso sa sulod, no? Then, narin din mo yung button, sample na may button dari, which is na diri inyong tulo ka sequence, ano? So kung i-press na ko una, musiga siya, depende sa inyo sa nga sequence yung gusto. Another press na pod ko, another sequence pod. Ipo-press na pod ko isa, another sequence. Mura check series lights nga method. By the way, kita na mo string lights. I'll show you string lights. Mura siya ingani actually ha. Ano bitang ingani, you know? So, mura siya ingani ang inyong buhaton, no? Pero ang distance ani from this bulb to bulb 1.5 meters na siya. Another bulb to bulb na pod 1.5 meters na pod na siya. Okay? Nanay baligya ani actually dili ko ganan magpalit mo ato kay mas expensive. So mas maayo kamon lang ang magbuhat pa. No, kamura magbuhat. Nay binuhat ani DIY nga string lights. Sabi ko. May mga DIY nga string lights nga weatherproof lang ilang ginagamit. Kani mga naman pamalit na lang man siya sa Shopee and so on. Pero ang distance lahi, mas dukol ra ni siya. No? So hinera mo gud ang siga po ani. Ito ini lang no, Klaro ra ang inyong PIT, yung pangutana?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, how about the others? Na pag may concern regarding sa inyong PIT?
Wala na po, sir.
Wala na. Now, let's continue, no? Let's continue the chapter 9. Also, the same chapter objective is for, now, nakaagi ng complex numbers, differential equation ninyo. Na imaginary number.
Bago lang sa imaginary numbers, sir.
Wala
Bago
pa sa
lang.
mga sa C, sir.
Ano naman? Wala mo yung differential equation?
Naa, sir, pero wala pa may nakaabot sa that na part, sir.
Okay. I think padulungay pa mo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think ano raman po ni siya, dili man kani siya grabe kayo, no? But the good thing for the complex number is just ano lang, no? Dala siya imaginary. Kay real numbers, na po siya imaginary. No? So you can see this one, no? Okay? As you can see this one, no? This is the form for the impedance, no? As denoted as Z. No? So basically, natugingon ako ganina, this time, dili lang ni siya purely resistor. Dili lang ni siya purely capacitor or inductor. It might be a combination of the two. No? As you can see, this one, the X, this is the real number. No? Real number or manatang ginatawag ng mga resistors. No? This one, the imaginary Y, okay, J, no? Sa inyo, imaginary sa differential equation is I man. No? This time, sa complex number ang ginagamit na to sa circuit theory para dili mag-away, di maglibog sa current, no? That's why the imaginary denoted as J. No? Wag kayo makita nga I, meaning na current na siya sa circuits. So that's why ilang gidenote na siya as J. Pero meaning ng J, that's imaginary. Okay? Okay, that's 1 is square root of negative 1. So that's imaginary. So again, the Y, it might be, it is composed of capacitor or it is composed of inductor. No? So mo ni siya ang rectangular form, no? X plus JY. Okay? Now, the second way representing the complex number, it might be a polar form. Sir, how do we convert that one into polar form? So basically, the polar form, it shows like this, R angle theta. No? So the R angle theta, we can convert this one from rectangular to polar. How? No? By using what? No? Paon na to itong value sa R, then makuha na to itong value sa theta. In what way, sir? No? By SOHCAHTOA, no? We can have this value. Okay? So, the magnitude of R basically is this normally getting this one. Okay? To get the value of R, it is gikan na rin siya ni, no? It is the square root of x plus y squared. That's square root. That's the value for R. For the value of theta, by SOHCAHTOA, tan inverse y over y over R, y over x. No? Tan inverse y over x. So basically, mo na yung siya pagkuha sa itong theta. No? That's how we convert. Okay? That's how we convert from rectangular to polar. And for the exponential, mo po niyang equation. No? R, okay, exponent to the j theta. So na naman theta, no? Na difference lang is naka-exponent na siya. No? So the same naman na siya. What will be the value of your polar form? You can directly convert that one into, okay, convert that one into exponential form. Now, as you can see, no, nung gingon ka ganina, x is the real part or real number, Y is the imaginary. Okay? So, nasa J. Okay? R is the magnitude. Theta is the angle. This is the composition of the complex numbers. Okay? Now, this is how it's being done or how it's being converted. No? So, to get the value of the rectangular, no, which is this one, the rectangular form. Okay, to get the value of the polar, no, normally we can have this. No, we have to convert this one like this. Diba? Itong ingon na r is equal to square root of x squared plus y squared. Okay, and also for theta, or vice versa, from polar to rectangular, kung saan na po siya, no? Basically, nga nila po na siya. Okay? From polar, no, from polar form, i-convert na to siya into rectangular form. No, nga ni po yung conversion. X is equals to r cosine theta. So, katawa rin siya actually. Okay? Cosine, di ba? So, katawa. Okay? Okay, sine opposite over hypotenuse. Okay? Basically, this is the um, the picture, no, by getting the SOHCAHTOA. We have the opposite, we have the y. Okay, y over r, no, the hypotenuse, no. So basically, that sine, by getting the value of no, the y, is we have sine r sine theta. Y is equals to na klase ko. Wala, online nga ko. Naklase ko ongoing. Okay, so opposite na to is r, no? So normally we have sine r over sorry. That's y. Sine y over r. No? So basically, kung baon na to itong value sa r, we can have a y. Y is equals to sine um, r sine theta. No? So that's why, no, you cannot just memorize. Di na na ngay memorize ni, no? Kanilang SOHCAHTOA, okay na. Daong naman yung SOHCAHTOA. No, gikan na gid sa SOHCAHTOA tanan. Pa-convert from polar to rectangular. And from rectangular to polar, mo po ni siya. No, gets niyo? From the conversion. By the way, klaro? Anybody? Klaro?
Yes, sir.
Okay ha, so klaro kayo siya, no, ang pagka-illustrate. I-convert na to si rectangular into polar, ng mao na yung polar form, no, from this, okay, from this equation, lang. From this equation, z is equals to x, gy, example na ni siya, given ni siya, no, i-convert na to siya into polar, dali ra, no, r is equals, given mo kasi x, given man si y, no, you can have the value of r. And also, given man si y and x, so makuha na to theta, o niya itong polar form. No? Z is equals to R angle theta. No? Now, kung naputa nga ni nga given, kanilugar nga itong given, Z is equals to R angle theta, convert na to siya into rectangular, mapunin yung equation. No? Naman si R, given man si theta, we can have the value of x. Naman si y, to get the value of y, naman si r, naman si y, makuha itong value sa y, and so on. So, makuha lang po natin itong rectangular. No? So, muna po itong rectangular na form. No? Na natin x, na natin y. So, na natin impedance ato ang, na natin impedance, ng rectangular form siya. For the exponential, normally, this one, no? This is the impedance, r exponent j theta, which is r, convert na to siya, no? And so on, into polar form, convert na po na to into rectangular form, the same lagi siya actually. No, so again, no, do not just, ayaw na ninyo ni-memorize, no? Okay? Gikan na gini siya sa Sokotowa tanan. No, kung di ka komportable sa Sokotowa, memorize na lang ni. Suggestion no to na ako pero mas mayo mo dito mag-memorize no kay mawala ang tana no and so on and so forth. Now let's try to execute this one no? Like this. Basically no, if in mathematical operation for complex numbers, if we're going to add, subtract, multiply, divide, no? Kung sa nga form, rectangular ba siya, polar ba siya, and so on. Kung si rectangular, naka-addition siya, no? Dili pwede ha, nga i-add nimo si x o y. Dili pwede isagol nimo si real number o si complex number or si imaginary number. So dapat kung mag-add ka, i-add nimo tanan si real, i-add po nimo tanan si imaginary number, which is si y. And for subtraction, the same kay addition. I-subtract din mo si tanan, ano, no? Tanan real, and i-subtract mo din mo tanan imaginary or si y. For the multiplication, kung naka-polar form, no? Okay, kung naka-polar form, i-multiply na to tanan magnitude, si R1 and R2, i-add na to ang duha ka angle. For the division, no, mao po siya, pero ang iyang angle naka-minus. That's for a division. Reciprocal for the using a polar form, mao po ang equation, and so on and so forth, square root, and so on, no? In addition, this one, no? Makita ganin mo ni asterisk, no? Na siya asterisk. This one, Z asterisk, meaning na Z conjugate. So, meaning sa Z conjugate, no? Kung kani siya negative ni, kung conjugate na siya, may mo na siyang C plus GY. Okay, or vice versa. Kung kani siya X plus JY, may mo na siya nga ni, no? X negative JY. That's the purpose of the conjugate. No, ma-change ang operation sa imong imaginary number. Okay, now let's try to execute this one. Now, if you have this complex number, how do we evaluate this one? No? How do you evaluate these complex numbers? Okay. Makalkyu ba nimon diretso dili? I-try daw ninyo ni calcu. Makalkyu ba ninyo? 40 angle 50 plus 2, 20 angle negative 30 square root. Ma-add ninyo na dili. Anybody who wants to try? Ma-add ni using your calculator. Direta focus sa A. 40 angle 50 plus 20 angle negative 30. Anybody? Ma-add siya dili sa inyong calculator. Hello? Hello? Okay? Now, if you try this one, sa inyong calculator, sintop sa error, gina siya. Never gina siya ma-happen. Now, basically, if we're going to evaluate these complex numbers, Unang-una, we have to convert this first, no? Isa-isa na to ni convert. Convert na to na. Convert na to na. Okay, yung saan na siya na pag-convert, no? Balik ko na to siyang equation, no? This one. If you have the given like this, di ba? Given man ingani man ang given. No, how to convert that one into a complex, a rectangular form, no? We have to convert no by using this one. So r cosine theta plus sine theta. Okay? So basically, if we have that, no, natay r, ito, z, z is equals to 40 angle 50 degrees. No, ito na siya i-convert first. Okay? So we have sa itong formula, no? R cosine theta, convert na ito na siya. We have R cosine theta plus J sine theta. Now, if we're going to convert, assuming Z1 ni siya, no? Para kani siya Z1 ni siya, kani siya si Z2. Okay. To convert that one, we have R, which is 40 cosine 50 plus J sine 50. Okay, that's one. And for the Z2, okay, Z2 will be equals to 20 angle negative 30 degrees. Okay, negative 30 degrees. No, so the same process, no, we have R cosine theta plus J sine theta. So basically, we have 20 cosine negative 30, okay, plus J, okay, plus J sine negative 30. Okay, no? So ana siya pag-convert nato into rectangular form. Now, unsaon nato na siya kung pag-convert nato into rectangular form. Pila ng cosine 50? Can you do your calculator? Cosine 50, pila? This one. Cosine 50,
0.64, sir.
0.64. Gani, sine 50, pila? J sine 50, pila?
0.766, sir.
0.766. Now, i-multiply ang 40. 40 times 0.64, pilam na?
25.6, sir.
25.6 plus J, pila man na? 40 times 0.766. Take note on this matter, ha? No? Okay. Gamay sayop ni mo ani complex or di ka kasabot sa complex. Pag-abot dito sa phasor nga circuit, di ka kasabot. No? So, much maayo tanaw mo ani complex unsaon siya pag-convert and so on and so forth. Okay? Pila man ang 40 times 0.766?
40, sir, no? 40 times 0.766.
Uh,
30.64, sir.
pila? 30.64?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's 30.64. Kaning isa, Z2. Kana, 20, diretso lang na to. Ay, ninayon sa nato, no? Cosine negative 30, pila man na?
0.866, sir.
0.866. Okay, plus J sine negative 30. Pwede ba ako ning itinamban ha? No, para masabtan ninyo ang saon. Later on, di na ko mag-ingani. Diretso na ako ni siya and so on ha. Pila man na siya? Sine negative 30. 0.5 ba na?
Negative, sir. Negative 0.5.
Okay. Negative. Okay, negative 0.5. Pila mo na siya? Multiply din nato. 20 times 0.866.
$17.32 sa 0.866, sir.
32 minus pila man na? No? J10, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, na natay conversion ni Z1 nga rectangular form, na natay conversion ni Z2 nga rectangular form. Now, unang-una, i-add nato siya, ayan na to square root. Okay? So, basically, to add this one, no? Therefore, we have Z is equals to Z1 plus Z2. Okay? Z1 na to is 25.6 plus J 30.64. Okay? Plus 17.32 minus J10. No, itong giingon ka ganina, balikon ko. When we do addition, okay, when we do addition, dapat i-add na to tanan serial number. This is the real number. I-add na to tanan imaginary. Okay? So, if that's the case, pila mo ni 25.6 ug 17.32 pila. $25.6 plus 17.32. Anybody way mag-calculate sa inyo? Dali ka? Hello? Are you still there, Napa?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Paliyog ko, Ad, ang moment ha?
42.92, sir.
Ha?
42.92.
42.92. Okay, 42.92. Pila ang J tanan? Plus J 20.64. Okay. Are we done? Not yet. No? Kung na kay rectangular form, na-add na nato tanan, no? Si 40 angle 50, 20 negative 30, wa patan na human. Okay? So atong buhaton na ni is ato na po na siya ibalik into polar form. No? Convert na po na to na from rectangular, okay, to polar. Okay? So saan na to na siya pag-convert na po from rectangular to polar. No, na-formula ka ganina, no? From rectangular to polar. This one. So, i-convert na to siya into polar. So, R angle theta ang mabilin. No? How do we get the R by using this? No? How do we get theta? We are by using this. No? So ato na siya i-convert from rectangular to polar. Dapat atong z will be look like this angle theta. Okay, which is r is square root of squared plus y squared, where theta is equals to tan inverse y over x. Okay? So muna nga to ang goal karon nato na po siyang i-convert. Wa pa tanaw man ha, wa pa nato na square root. We're not still done. No? So we have to get the value of r, we have to get the value of theta. Since namatay value sa x, namatay value sa y, no? Pila ang atong r? 42.92 squared plus 20.64 squared, square root na yan. Pila atong r?
47.62, sir.
47.62,
Yes, sir.
correct? And for the theta, tan inverse y, 20.64 divide 42.92. Pila tong angle? Ayaw, Sir Chris, ha?
25.68, sir.
Pila?
25.68.
25.68 degrees. Ano? So therefore, makuha na nato ni siya, no? Naka-square root mo ni siya, no? Or 1/2. So therefore, z na to will be equals to the square root of, or 1/2, sorry. 47.62 angle of 25.64. No, that's 1/2. Square root of 47.62, pila? Pila yung square root of 47.62?
6.9, sir.
Ha? 6.9?
6.9.
Okay. Now, kung tanaw na to siya, pag square root, no? Square root of the angle, normally, no? The magnitude r is square root man siya. But for the theta or the angle is divide 2. No? Tanaw na to na siya, itong angle is 25.64. Divide 2 rin na to na siya. No? Pila mo na? 25.64 divide 2.
12.82, sir.
It's 12.82 no? So mo ni ang ato ang final. Tanaw na to na siya the stepping. You cannot directly hit this one, no? Makuha na to ng 6.9 angle of 12.82 in one ano lang calculator, no? So ato ang na siyang i-convert. That's why natay rectangular, natay polar, napunta exponential. Tanaw na to ha, no? So I think ingani ra gid ang tanan steps. Kung mag-add ta, mag-multiply, mag-subtract, and so on, iagit sa naginatong rectangular. Kung naka-polar form, i-convert na itong rectangular. Okay? Then, once nga natin rectangular, ibalik na po na itong polar. No? And so on and so forth. No? So, kung tanaw na itong stepping, more gid siya actually. Okay? So, this is the answer actually. Okay, 6.9, 12.81. Okay. So basically, no, tanaw na to siya. Di siya basta-basta makalkul lang. No, this is the special for the complex number. Okay. Now, this will be in your assignment number 3. You can do this evaluating the complex number for letter B. Okay. Yun yung siyang elaborate naman siya answer actually. No? But I want your answer will be like this na naka-breakdown siya. Dili ko ganahan og shortcut ha. No? I-breakdown yun siya properly para kay balo mo sa process. Okay, the important naman here is the process. Kaya buka sa process, later on, mga problema sa siya pag-break. Saan mo siya pag-add, saan pag-divide, and so on and so forth. Pangutana. Pangutana? Klaro na ba? Question. Question?
And so far po, sir.
Okay. Klaro na ha? Kasi na yung mahaya, no? I want everybody, no, nga, to be fair, no? Dapat sa kuha nga side, okay. Sa inyo po nga side, okay. Hindi pwede one-sided to ha. That's why I'm trying my best here para okay sa inyong tanan. So that's why if you have a question, just raise. No? Naglibog mo, just raise, just tell me. Dita pwede nga dito na tamingon sa quiz, libog, one share, and so on. Pag lecture pa lang nga time, di mo ga no? Di mo participate, di man lang siguro, maminaw siguro. No? So, just tell me honestly ha, kung naglibog mo or wala. No? And so on. Okay? And also this one, no? You can do this practice problem, your assignment number 4. Assignment number 3, this item number 4. Sir, by the way, sir, chapter 9, napabay problem set? Wala na. No, we don't have enough time to do it. So the problem set, tama na sa chapter 8 ha. Okay, that's you're going to submit on this Friday, the last chapter problem set number 9, number 8. No? So that is the last problem set. And chapter 9, dili na ninyo apilan og problem set. That's why I'm going to bombard you, no, assignment. At least you do the practice. Okay? This is your assignment number 4. So your assignment, item number 4 sa your assignment number 3. Okay, hindi nag-chat. Adiyo
Sir,
lang ko.
sir, asa tama ng number sa chapter 8 ka problem set?
Literal na to siyang istoryahan na. Basta kay way labot. Ato nang gipang giselect na to nga topic. Katong source free. Sa patong last na to gidiscuss. The step response. Naman po na dito sa inyo ang problem set. Naka-ano man, naka-topic man. Klaro? Sige lang, kaya ito lang pong i-open later on. Klaro ra ha? Any violent reaction? May pangutan na? Hello? Pangutan na?
None, sir.
Okay. Wala ha? Pero I think naman siya answer. Ang ako lang gusto is saan yun siya pag elaborate nga, step by step naka-breakdown. Okay. And also for the phasor, no? We're done talking the complex numbers. Now, how about phasors? No? So phasor is a complex number that represents the amplitude and the phase of the sinusoids. Also, phasor is a mathematical equivalent for the change with time variable, no? Or in the other word, no? In the other words, this is the formula of a phasor. Tanaw na to ang difference ni time domain o the phasor, no? As you can see, this is the equation for the voltage for the time domain, no? Basically, this one, no? The peak voltage, cosine angular velocity, the same time the phase angle. So tanaw na to siya, ang time domain naka-represent V of t. Okay, na siya within terms to a time. Kung naka-phasor domain representation, tanaw siya polar form kagid ang iyang noun, no? Peak voltage, the same time the phase angle. Okay, so normally, no, how this being done, gikan din siya gi-convert, no, example from exponential form should be emphasized. One, the time domain is instantaneous. Okay, while V is frequency, okay, or phasor domain representation. The V of t is time dependent, while V is not. In fact, it is often forgotten by the students. Again, V of t is time dependent, or the time domain is time dependent. The phasor or capital V is not. And also the time domain is always real with no complex term. Okay, the time domain, wala siya ay complex term, real number siya. While the V has a complex number. Okay, na siya imaginary. Okay, so this is the difference between the time domain and the same time the phasor domain. Now, for the phasor, you have the amplitude and the phase difference of the two principal concerning the study of the voltage and current sinusoids. For example, this one, how do we transform the following sinusoids to phasor? Okay, you have this, no? So this is naka-time domain. Imong current, naka-time domain ni. Imong voltage, naka-time domain ni. How do we convert this one into phasor domain? Okay, kung balik ko na to ganina, si time current, current na time domain, no? Convert into phasor, no? Capital I or I hat. For voltage, okay, naka-V hat or capital V. Now, how do we convert that one? So basically, no, this is how it's being done. Convert it to phasor. Make it sure, take note, no? Phasor will be defined from the cosine function in all our preceding studies. So if the voltage or current expression is in the form of sine, it will be changed to a cosine, subtracting the phase. Natong ganina to conversion, no? Ginawa, no? As you can see this one. So dapat tanan amplitude na to or tanan rectangular sinusoidal form na to is dapat naka-cosine function. Now, example ani, no? Naka-negative cosine man ni siya. Now, ato siya na siyang i-convert into a positive cosine. No? So basically, how do we convert this one? Kung ganina, no, without memorizing the trigonometric functions or identities, naan naman kaani, no? Naan na kay positive cosine omega t, positive sine omega t, ha? Ani lagi di memorize duwa ra gyud ug kanang cross. Daog lagi kaani, no? So, gikan naman siya sa negative, so may expected na rin negative sine omega t, no? So kung kana siya, negative sine omega t na siya, converted to positive sine omega t, no? Clockwise man eh. That's why you have plus 90. Convert man to siya in positive cosine. So that's why kung tanawin na to na siya, for cosine, and then siya plus 90. Klaro? Sabta ninyo? May question? Klaro ba? Ayun na mo memorize itong trigonometric identity na ni cosine A plus 90. Ako itong chance nga malibog mo. Mag plus 190, 90 ba mo? Plus 180 ba mo? No? Kanina rin yung memorize on. Cosine, asa ang location ni cosine, positive cosine. Asa ang location ni positive sine. Kana ra. Now, kung clockwise rotation, no? Kung clockwise, positive. Okay? Kung counterclockwise, no? Kung counterclockwise, ano siya? No? Na? Kung counterclockwise, negative. So, mag-negative 180, negative 190 ka, and so on and so forth. Klaro? Any question? Yun siya pag-convert. That's why you have the phasor voltage of V, okay, for angle 140. Question or pangutana? Naipangutana? Bitaw, ay mo kaulaw bitaw, ang libog mo. This will be the last stop discussion na to. Ano? Soon, na, assessment na lang tanin. Ano na, makabalos mo, no? Pangutana, na may pangutana? Bitaw, napa mo? Badungkan ko ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Yes po,
Klaro
sir.
ra sa inyo? Klaro ra sa inyo? Kasi
Yes, sir.
mag-ano ko darya. Laos-laos na, di mo klaro sa inyo. Balikon ko no, I really discourage everybody to memorize the trigonometric identity. Dagan pa kay kaunaw-naon saan pagkuha ni voltage, saan pagkuha ni current, ni kapasitor, ni inductor. Ayaw na, i-focus na lang na dito. Ayaw na lang ni idugang ng trigonometric identity sa inyo, no? Kanina lang i-memorize actually, no? Kaya na, wala, gini siya istorya sa libro. Sa ako rin nga observation. Kaya mura mo guni siya ang gabalik-balik, no? Cosine of sine. Mura ning memorize na asang location ni positive o cosine. Kung mag-clockwise, kana 90 degrees. Kung example, ikan kay negative cosine. Convert na to into positive cosine, kana clockwise plus 180, no? And so on. Ana lang atong ano, no? So, kadiray memorize na asang location ni positive cosine, asang location ni positive sine. I-convert na to tanan into positive cosine functions. So, kana aram, and so on and so forth. Daog na ta sa life, no? Daog na to, masabtan na to sa phasor. Kani siya, si I, wala na ni. Never, dili na to ni siya convert na, no? Kaya nga naman, naka-positive cosine function naman ni siya. So, this is how we're going to define our phasor. Dapat in terms of time domain, dapat naka-cosine function tanan. Okay? So, kung klaro ha, no? Mag-move ta, no? How about this one? We have to transform this phasor form into a sinusoid, a time domain form, no? Now, saan na to ni siya pag-convert into this one? Okay? Kasi bali na po ni siya. Ganina, lahi ito. Karon, ibali na po siya. Saan man na to ni convert? Okay? Nakaba idea saan? Okay? Once to try, may gusto mo try? Okay? Let's try sa letter A. So, ito pag-try ng letter A. Okay? May gusto mo try? Now, basically, di ba? Kanina ni phasor, dapat cosine function man siya. No? So, siya, it's expected, cosine function siya. No? Cosine function ni siya. Pero, negative cosine function. Di ba? Tanaw na to na siya. Now, basically, kung ato na siyang tanawon sa iyang time domain, it might be, no? It might be like this. We have V, ano? Dito sa A. V of t, it is negative cosine, negative 10 cosine omega t plus 30 degrees. No, so basically mo ni iyang form, no, sa iyang time domain nga form. Na pag-convert into a phasor, mo ni siya ang iyang forma. Now, naman tayo agreement ka ganina or naman tayo kuan nga dapat ang phasor will be defined from the positive cosine function. No? So basically, ato ni siyang i-convert pa no into a positive cosine function since this is negative cosine. So since Tanaw na to na siya, ang gingon no ganina, dapat kay balo ka asang location ni positive cosine. So therefore, kung positive cosine diri, negative cosine omega t ni siya. Now, kung from negative cosine, ang given negative na yun. From negative cosine to positive cosine, plus 180 ka diya. No? Duwa mo na, no? So, plus 180 degrees ka dira. So, basically, to convert this one to positive cosine, you have 10 cosine omega t plus 30 plus 180 degrees. So, basically, transform this one, we have this b of t 10 cosine omega t, okay, plus 210 degrees volts. Morning na to ang sinusoid karon, no? Or time domain function na to for the voltage. How about this one for the current? This mo ba answer? Okay, no? So, mo ni siya, no? Answer. So, it is the breakdown. Mo ni siya. Yan. No? And for the letter B, okay, for the letter B, from this, convert na to siya into, since this one, no, naka-rectangular form ni siya. So basically, kung ato na siyang simplify first, we have J5, okay, J times 5 times J times, like, J times J times 12, no? Ampere. No, basically, to convert that one, no, natay 12 plus J5. Simplify this one, no? J times J, that's 1. Okay, J times J, that's 1. So that's 12. 1 times 12, that, something, negative 1, sorry. So J times J, that's negative 1. So since negative naman na daan, so negative times negative 1, that's positive 1. Times 12, that is 12. So we have 12 plus J5. Now, this is our rectangular form for this phasor current. Okay? Now, how do we convert this one into a time domain current? No? So therefore, the I of t will be equals to what? No? So una-una, ato ni siya i-convert into polar form first. Okay? Para makuha na to yung angle, makuha na to yung magnitude, and so on and so forth. No? So therefore, paon na to si R, which is square root of x squared plus y squared. Paon na to si theta, which is tan inverse y over x. Okay? To get the value of r, we have squared of x, pilatong x, that's 12 squared plus 5 squared square root. Pila ni siya? 12 squared plus 5 squared. Pila tong r?
13, sir.
13?
Yes, sir.
13?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another is the angle. Okay. Tan inverse y na to is 5 by 12. Pila nga tong theta? Pila tan inverse 5 over 12? May pila tong tan inverse 5 over 12? Tan inverse 5/12 pila?
0.5.
22.62, sir.
By the way ha, kasi naka-radian or naka-degree mode mo ha, no? Ang theta, dili siya 0 point something ha, no? That's angle, so dagko na siya. Pila siya? 22,
22.6, sir.
22.6. So therefore, no, equivalent rin siya pang rectangular. So we have 13 angle of 22.6 degrees. So therefore, the I of t na to will be 13 cosine omega t plus 22.16 degrees. Something. What ito? No? So, ana ragid siya, no? Balik-balik ragid ni siyang stepping from rectangular, then down to polar, and so on and so forth. So, kaon na to ang R, which is the magnitude. Okay. So, the magnitude current, which is 13. Wala may given sa angular velocity. So, that's why we have to be stick to omega t, no? And the same time, the degrees, 22.16, you can tan inverse 5/12, and so on. So therefore, this is the time domain of corresponding sinusoids for a current, phasor current, which is J5, negative J12 complete. Okay, take mo ba sa answer? No? So, siya. Now, pangutana. Napay pangutana. Klaro sa inyo? Ang pag-convert from phasor to time domain and also to time domain to phasor. Klaro? Klaro sa inyo? Pangutana. By the way, this is just stepping. No? Stepping pa ni siya wapata sa circuit. No? So, umato ta sa circuit, lahi na putong istorya. No? So, again, no, dapat kay baluta sa basic, how do we convert this one? Okay? Then pag-abutan to circuit, dito matarantaw, saon na to siya pag-attack. No? Dapat kay baluta ang saon. Okay? Kulay pangutana, I'm going to proceed ha. Now, basically, no, this is the representation versus the time domain and the same time the phasor domain. So, for the time domain, Vm cosine omega t plus theta, yung phasor domain, mo di siya. And for the sine, no, for the sine omega t plus theta, so basically, na to siya, itong graph kanina ha, yung cosine omega t, sine omega t, no, sine omega t, nawa siya, no, that's counterclockwise, that's why we have negative 90. So, na to yung phasor domain, actually negative 90. Cosine omega t, no, ay ang current magnitude of phasor. The same case sine. Convert na to into cosine, no? That's negative 90. That's why na to yung angle sa yung phasor, naka-minus 90 siya. Maganda. Tanan nakaklay, negative tanan ang imo angle ihad. Okay? Pero kung ang imong kuan is naka-clockwise, no? Naka-clockwise like this one, nakingani, no? Positive na tanan. Wala ka. Okay, padulong ka dira sa cosine, no? Plus 180 ka diya. Clockwise man ka. Okay, compare kay counter. Okay, kanira gid ni memorize no? Ay nagit mo una, no? Kanira ang location ni sine, positive sine o cosine kanira. Sine, negative. Kanira gid yung horizon din kaning cross mawala na daog na. So dapat i-convert na from negative cosine, positive sine, negative sine, and so on. Da padulong sa cosine. Kaya ba naging kapilayan ng angle. Okay? Now this is the normally in the circuit from time domain, no? down to a circuit in sinusoidal steady state. Okay, so una-una, pwede na ito siya i-convert into phasor domain, no? So, na natin circuit in a phasor domain. So, algebraic text solution techniques, katong ano, mag-add ta, yan na to, multiply ba, subtraction ba, and so on. Okay, then na natin phasor nga response, and balik din nato sa time domain nga answer na po. So, more na siya, normally, ang iyahang sequence. Okay, from a time domain nga given, di man nato na siya basta-basta ma-solve, no? So, dapat natin siya i-convert into polar. So, dapat naka-phasor siya. So, naka-polar form man siya, kung sa itong gamitan, mag-subtraction ba ka, addition ba ka, and so on and so forth. So, na siya mathematical or the algebraic solutions. No? So, katong gamiton na siya, so na tayo answer. Katong answer, naka-polar form man to, naka-phasor. So, katong phasor na po, or polar form nga itong answer, ato na po na siya i-convert into a time domain, no? Para natin sa sinusoidal response na waveform. Muna to itong final answer, itong time domain na itong waveform. This one, if we're going to apply this one on a circuit, ha? Okay, sa usa ka circuit. So, normally, magod sa usa ka circuit, naka-time domain na siya. Or naka-phasor domain, well, may problema. Okay, so, dito na ka problema sa last tayo, no? Dapat mo answer, naka-time domain siya with respect to its response. And also, no, for the differentiation, integration, phasor domain, for the okay, this is for inductor. Hindi mo. Okay, so what? Kaya no, this will be your assignment also. You know, this will be your assignment number 5. Item number 5. Evaluate these complex numbers. No? Okay. Huwag mo nag face-to-face ano, this will be our online. No, i-add lang din sa inyong assignment. Okay? Now, if we're going to apply that one on the circuit, mo ni siya. No? So, find the voltage VT in the circuit described integral differential equation using the phasor approach. No? So, as you can see, tanan na to series, itong circuit naka-parallel form o parallel connection. Now, ang ipo-question nari, find the voltage or the VT, this one, by a time domain, describe the integral equation with the phasor approach. No? So, as you can see, natay resistor, natay inductor, natay capacitor. Wala na tong time, ha? Wala na to yung time, wala na tong at t is less than 0, at t is greater to 0, wala na to. Kani siya automatic ni siya. Ani kinaka-time domain naman siya, meaning AC circuit ni. No? By given this kind of a circuit, how do we approach this one to get the value of P of T? Now, basically, no, by differential equation, no, you can do the differential equation by the way. No, the I constant, I main, no, the dot, this one, no, this is the, assuming this is I1, IR na to, IL na to, IC na to. No, so this is the main current, this one, this is our main current. Basically, no, this one for the resistor, IR, CDVT IC, no? This is our IC, the IR, and same time the IL. No? So basically, no, more gini siya. Nag-integrate lang ang iyang approach. Integral differential, no? The integration na differential equation. Now, as you can see, now to get the value of V, okay, by time domain, we have 2.12, angle of negative 88. Okay, make it sure no, that your final answer will be always like this, naka-time domain. So to convert that one, to convert this phasor domain voltage We have 2.12 cosine 5t and so on and so on. No? So, ingani ang pag-apply sa phasor into a circuit. Basically, this is how it's being done. No? So, do not worry. Di na kayo mag-add og circuit ingani ha sa ito ang final exam. Ako na lang i-pro bono sa inyo. Di na ko mag-add ani. Dito na tataman sa phasor. Okay? So, I think diri natataman for the E213. No? We will not go down deep. Okay? So that you still have more time to focus pa on the topic nga asa mo na hinay. Now, balikon ko, the coverage for the final term is gikan kay OPAM, the chapter 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, no? And part in chapter 9, man kay Phasor only. Dili na nako ni i-appeal ang circuit. Okay? So, para na may time to focus ang asa mo week. Okay? Now, diri na kita tama na sa phasor or the complex numbers and evaluating and so on. Di na kayo, di na ako malaw sa ni, maluoy na ko, no? Wala o aksyon tagkamatay tanan. No? Now, klaro ra ang inyong coverage for the final term.
Yes, sir.
Pangutana. Ay pangutana? I hope no, di ta magamatay ha. Na nag thumbs down. No? Sa so, nag thumbs down na ni. Di siya ganahan nga na circuit, away circuit. Asing mamatay na ni si katong nag thumbs down. Itom rawag kamot. Itom to siya nga tao. Okay? Kung itom ang gigamit nga thumbs down, itom na siya nga tao, negro na siya, no? Sir, pwede po ma-extend ang PIT po, sir. Pwede lang po, sir. Okay, no? Ang grade encoding mo na mo, taman 16. No? So, December 16. Sa ba ito? Naka-share screen pa ko. Sir, kanong sa deadline sa tanan problem set? Okay, iso kay card. Okay. For the chapter 8, problem set, assignment, no? Taman karong Friday. Pero kaning chapter 9 nga assignment, pwede pa ni siya kung ano sa atamag. Not to chance. Next week, we will not meet naman. No, I'll give you more time, no, to conduct, to do your study, advance. Okay? So, pwede ra siya on next chapter 9 assignment. Pwede ra siya on December 3. Okay? Kaning assignment ninyo nga bago, taman ra ni December 3. Pero katong problem set ninyo sa chapter 8, assignments sa chapter 8, taman ra karong Friday, which is November 28. So, by next week, we will not meet anymore na ha. I'll give you more time to review and so on. Basing hopefully by Friday, ma-forward na ako tanan ng result sa inyo ha. No, wala na ko'y result, nga wawiran pa prior na mag-final exam para kay balumos yung standing. Okay, so expected December 5, ma-forward na ako ang inyong mga result. Na-record na ako tanan quiz and so on. So by December 10, the schedule of our final exam. Maghatag na ko og final time schedule, mutanas ako dito sa available. Okay, pero ang coverage nato sa tuang coverage na to sa to ang what you call this one exam for the final is chapter 5, 6, 7, parts sa chapter 8, and sa chapter 9, aman lang until phasor. Ay wala na apil ang circuit. Katura ang atong coverage for the final. Kung mag-removal, di sa kumistorya na. Nawa ko kita na magrado. Kung kamo sa tantanan, no? Pero diin mo ganahan na yun. Gusto ka mag-removal na tanan coverage. Gikan chapter 1 to chapter 9. Okay? So, kato lang, no? Any question or clarification? Ay namutana, when pwede ba man extend ang deadline? Di na ko mag-extend. No? I'll give you that one prior pag yun. Pag yun, mamopay pag-start na to sa final, no? So, wala na. Di na po ko pwede ka forward kay mag-end naman. Ano? So, tama na kita. O sa ba itong deadline yatag sa inyo sa PIT?
December 5 po, sir.
December 5. Sige. December 12 na lang. Wala chance. Until December 12, wala na ko extension. Sige, ako pang
Okay po,
i-extend
sir. Thank you po.
para ma-extend yun. Ang inyong pan paper ha. Insa may wa nag-submit ng paper dari. Lampurnason tumunta na ni karon. Section C pa ning na-submit. Ang A wa
A4
pa.
size, Japon, sir.
Ha?
A4
A4.
size.
A4 ang inyo. Ang katong sa PCAS may letter size, long bond paper. Question or clarification?
Ay, kwento sa A4 size na dapat, sir. Ang ipasa, sir. From section C din, sir.
Nag-forward naman ang section C. Dublihon ninyo? Sige,
Ay,
dubliha.
dili, sir. Ay, dili, sir.
Siya nag-submit sa... siya ang nag-submit. Nag-submit ng siya, ayan na dubliha. Sumbagong
Sige,
kasi
sir, sige, sir.
nagkadua ka ng ulikta. Ang B ay
Sorry
wala
kayo,
pa.
sir.
Di bayad ba? Uni kay balo. May class rep
Ako to nagpasa, sir.
Ay, ikaw rin nagtapal. Abi dato, mintaan niyo. Ay na po, makasuhan na sa inyo. Dito kung ulit na bond paper. By the way, kanay inyong bond paper, wala ko nag-ikuhan i-consume. Personal sa inyuhan na sa inyong pieces. Kung magpalit, bayad-bayad ba mong photocopy, and so on. Mas madakan man mo isa mag... Bitaw, question or clarification? Klaro ra ba inyong deadline sa PIT, coverage sa final exam, coverage sa removal exam, sa paman itong coverage kailangan, no? This will be the last, ha? No? I'll give you the time now in the next week. Paspasin ninyo, basin pa dahil. Kaya pa. Okay. Na kung wala na tayo pangutana, okay, can we turn on our camera para picture ta, no?
Welcome, picture daw.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Smile, everyone. By the way, no, thank you for coming, no, online. See you on Friday and Thursday, no, for the final last quiz na po na to. Thank you, everyone, and God bless.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.